If you are watching this, you are watching the replay, and I thank you very much. Happy Sunday. Um, just outside taking care of the chickens, and I was going to get a little prison yard workout, and I thought I'd see if anybody was on and just check and see if anybody wanted to chat. I thought with this beautiful, beautiful Sunday, I'd get on and just share things that just popped into my head in between my sets. One thing I'd like to say on this wonderful Sunday is be you, right? Be the best you. How's it going? Yeah, you have a great day too. So it's good morning. Good morning. It's so easy to jump in and just do what everybody else is doing, right? But if you do you, right, and you are you, and you project you, guess what? You're going to be passionate about it. And something I have found in my life is that like happiness and that kind of stuff, it's contagious, right? I'm old enough to remember when there used to be stories floating around that would talk about like this is the day my life was saved, right? And it'd be a story about somebody who thought they were alone. They thought they didn't fit in. They thought that I should start a podcast. Yeah, maybe I will. I got to look into it. But they're, this person who thought that they were invisible, right? That they weren't a part of the world and they were down. And they were thinking about, today's the day that I'm just going to end it all because, I'm not appreciated and all this stuff, right? That's what these old stories, I'm just saying I'm old enough. But what changed it? And that was somebody come by and they said like good morning to him. Just that kind, gentle gesture of just saying good morning, how are you? They looked him in the eyes. They acknowledged him as a person, and it made him feel better. And then the next day, the same person did the same thing. They just, good morning, how are you? How was your weekend? Just a small conversation. It didn't take much from the one person, but it altered the other person's life so much that they started to think that maybe they were worth something. Maybe they did fit in. Maybe they weren't invisible. And then, in these stories, it would be like a little while later, that first person who said good morning would receive some kind of a note that said, I was in a dark place and I felt really bad and I was thinking of ending it all, and you reached out with a kind gesture and it, changed my life. So I'm going to get a set here during my prison yard workout, but, be you. Be you. If I was thinking of how to frame this, right? Because by all means, I will never say do anything that's illegal and don't do anything that'll get yourself hurt. But you be you, right? If you want to shave the middle of your chest, cover it in peanut butter and roll around in some leaves out in your yard, by all means, do it. Live and let live. Go do it if that makes you happy, right? And if you want to post about it, then other people who like that stuff will eventually, follow you, and then you'll have that thing in common. But don't go and shave your chest and cover it in peanut butter and roll in leaves because that's the most popular thing and it's not something you would do, right? So you just be you. It gets contagious. All right, let me knock out a set. Gonna try to get some shoulders in here. So this is yesterday's wax, Firehouse mustache wax. This is the dark wax. I guess I have found a way to, oh, thank you, yeah. I found a way to kind of sleep that does not completely smash it. Let me get some shoulders in here. Get me a good set of 10. Like this, I'm working out in my backyard with cinder blocks, right? Because that's all I got right now. And a couple of people reached out to me and they said, you have a good day too, brother. That it sparked them to start working out. That they had things around their yard that they could do. I hope you guys are keeping cow. I'm not. So, I've talked about it before in some of my other posts, and that is with my life experiences. And I've had some doozies, but focus on little things that make you happy, right? It's better to have a lot of little things that make you happy than to sit around waiting for one big happy, right? Because what happens if that one big happy doesn't work out? Then, you're so let down. But if you have little things like, I'm going to feel better doing my little outside workout, right? And that's a little happy. Then later I'm going to do something else that makes me happy. Maybe hug my 6-year-old daughter. That makes me happy. Talk to my other daughter who's in college right now. That makes me happy. Talk to my older daughter who's living in Pennsylvania right now. That's a little happy on the Sunday. So if one of those doesn't work out, like let's say I can't get a hold of my daughter who's in college, I have all those other little happies to keep me happy, right? But I'm not going to set myself up, and this is, all hypothetical and probably not probable. But if my happiness, I'm going to base it around, I'm going to win the lottery today, right? I got a better chance of being struck by lightning and a garbage truck at the same time. So, and that's what I'm trying to convey is, don't set yourself up where you think the only thing that will make you happy is someone else, right? If what you're doing is because of someone else, then, is that truly going to make you happy? You do what makes you happy, yeah, no doubt. So, like I was saying, live and let live, you do you, and people will gravitate to you. Like me, I do my stuff. One thing I've noticed, and I'm not knocking it, believe me, I'm not knocking it, but it's not something I would do. Like if I get on in the morning and I got 100 new likes, right? And let's say somebody goes through and they do 30 consecutive likes on my different posts. A lot of people like to give those people a shout out, right? And they'll take a screenshot, but I don't do it. I'm not knocking it. Other people do it. So I make these videos like this, and then I just, I talk about things that happened to me. I grew up a really, really poor kid in Michigan, the Thumb region. I mean, like once a month we go to the armory and have to go out there at like 5 a.m., help unload the truck in order to get our free cheese, to get our free Spam, to get our free milk, to get our free bread. So some things are a little different for me. Like I was excited to go to on Sundays to go with my grandparents to McDonald's. That was like a big deal, right? Now I can just drive down the road, take out my debit card, and I'm buying McDonald's. So it's not that big of a deal. But little things make me happy, right? All right, let me get another set. If you guys have any questions, whether it's mustache related, beard related, or maybe one of the experiences I've had in my life. I was in the Army for 11 years. Let me try to crank out 10. Nine. 10. There you go. Get you some of that. Flex it Sunday. So, I love that. Ooh, almost fell over. I love that people are following me. So some of you who don't know, 2018 December, some of my work buddies said, I dare you to grow a beard for a year. Because up until that point, I'd grow a beard out for about 3 months and I'd shave it off. Then I'd grow another beard for about 3 months and I'd shave it off. So I was like, all right, challenge accepted. So I drew a time limit, 1 year. I'm not going to cut the beard at all that stuff. I did trim the mustache like a little bit when it was uneven, but for the most part, I made a deal to myself to grow the beard for a year. And then I kept it for 20 months. I took the beard off. So the point of that is here I am with over 2,000 followers. I got like 4 different companies that are sponsoring me basically on facial hair for a guy that just stopped shaving in December of 2018. Wound up winning my first ever national handlebar championship. Then I won styled and natural for the West Coast Classic. I won the North Texas Beard Alliance styled championship. So, and that's just me being me, I guess. So how are you guys doing on this amazing Sunday? Hopefully you have something planned today that'll bring a smile to your face. If you're out and about and you see somebody, and if it's not if it's within your comfort zone, or maybe even if it's a little out of your comfort zone, sometimes spreading a little joy to someone else is contagious, and they might pass along. If you're out and about and you see somebody, you make eye contact with them, just good morning or how are you? And it might make their day to do that, right? All right, let's see. 3, come on, count with me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! So yeah, you just be you. Good morning. Avert the crisis. Just be you. Don't try to be anything else besides you. And do things for you, right? When I was younger, I was a smoker, right? And when I was single, I would meet someone, and to impress them, and they would say, "Ooh, I don't like smoking, all that stuff. You should really quit." So I would try. I would quit for as long as we were dating, as long as we were going out. And then when the relationship stopped, I started smoking again, right? And I did that several times. So I wasn't changing it because of me. I was changing me to meet their expectations or something like that. So if you're doing something because you want to fit in, I suggest you do you, and people like mine, same interests and all that, will eventually gravitate to you. And that's where I was going with all my little storytelling. Is I was just a guy that grew a beard, transitioned to a mustache, and I haven't promoted myself as far as like paying Instagram or Facebook. And I have, I think I was thinking about earlier, is I did a reel using Topher's music, right? And I did it very similar to how other people did it, but I didn't do it exactly because I didn't want to be, like, say, a copycat, right? I did it like they did it, but I put my own little twist, my own little flair. I did my mustache stuff. And he shared it out. He exposed me to 120,000 viewers. So within like a 2-day period, I had gotten 500 new followers, right? But about 2 days later, about like 180 of those left, right? Well, if I'm just looking at numbers, oh no, I went from 500, down to 320. No, man, it's all good. I wouldn't even gotten up to those 500, and the 320 that stayed, they stayed because they wanted to stay. So I'm not out there trying to fish to get those 120 back or 180 or whatever. I'll just keep being me, and if the 320 who stayed like what I do, then that's good, And for the most part, like I'd say on a day-to-day basis, I get 7 to 15 new followers, right? There are some days I'll get 15 new followers, 9 will leave. Well, welcome aboard the 6 that stayed, right? Because I'm just going to be me. And that's all I'm trying to say on this Sunday as I get a little workout in, is just be you. And eventually other people like you will find you. I'm a firm believer like that for men, that is. I would rather be a man, right, that other men gravitate to, maybe look up to. And I don't want to try to be something I'm not so that they follow me because of someone I'm trying to be. I would rather be me, and those who might gravitate to me are gravitating to me because they like me, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to say here on this Sunday. You guys ready for another set? I'm trying to think what I should do. I've done these guys. I've done these guys. I did some curls. Maybe I'll do some hammer curls. They're not always easy to do with cinder blocks because the cinder block will rest right on my arm. Digs in a little bit. But I'll do them. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hopefully you've had a good weekend. Positivity, inspiration. Yes, they do spread like wildfire. Avert the crisis. So, and that's what I was saying is sometimes it just takes passing by somebody. So those of you watching live now that may not have seen it in the beginning, I'm old enough to remember there used to be all these old stories where there was a person who was down in the dumps. They felt invisible. They felt excluded. They felt like this wasn't the world for them. And they were getting ready to end it all. Because why? Why? Everybody ignored them. They were invisible, this kind of stuff. And it just so happened somebody who had been passing by, maybe at their work, maybe, apartment building, whatever, acknowledged them, said good morning, looked them in the eye, said good morning, how are you? And the person really didn't say much. They just kept walking. But it caught, right? That positivity caught to them. And then the next day, the same thing happened, and it started to change that person on the inside. And like a little later, the person who said good morning, I think gets like an anonymous note. It said, my name is so-and-so. You probably don't know me, but I was on the verge of committing suicide. I thought I was not important. I thought I didn't mean anything. I thought I didn't fit in. I felt invisible. And you say good morning to me like every morning. And it changed my perspective and saved my life, You don't hear that so much anymore, right? Now, I'm not saying you got to do something that gets you in trouble or gets you hurt. But sometimes, just spreading that love a little bit. Oh, yeah, it's digging right in my arm. Yeah, but it's good. It's good pain. It's a good pain, right? That's right. That's what I got the gloves for. No pain, no gain. Okay. I'm going to stop that one right there. Got me dug in right there a little bit, but that ain't too bad. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. So that's why, that's why my posts and stuff like that, I just try to be me. And that's what I recommend to other people, is you be you. Be genuine, right? Because if you're genuine, people will see that. But if you're, the gentleman who plays the mountain, right? He's Icelandic, and I can't say his name correctly, but big dude, right? And he's like the world's strongest man at least once. He's got a couple of records, and I get it. He's got a huge following. So there are different companies that want to send him stuff. Lunges, oh my God, really? I'll get some leg stuff in. I hate lunges though. But anyways, he's also promoting like a facial hair product. I think he's getting better at it now, and this is just me being, critiquing it. But he looks a little uncomfortable in some of them, showing off like the products, right? And I see that right away, and I'm just like, I want to see someone, and if you've seen my other posts, I've talked about it. Like when I first started growing a beard, I was like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to put in it. I don't know how to maintain it. I don't know how to clean it. What am I supposed to do? So I go out and I search, and I find these beard companies out there that all of their ads or whatever were half naked men just squirting all kinds of beard oil and like slapping it all over their face. At first I'm thinking, God, that seems a little wasteful, right? But hello, how are you? Bearded meat. I probably screwed that Mitchell. But when I would look and say, okay, well, what do I need? Oh, your starter kit for $199 comes with all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I need that. I don't want to buy it and then find out that I didn't need all that stuff. So it was kind of tough. But yeah, so I want to see someone who is genuine about what they're talking about. Maybe, I like it when they're passionate. Lunges are terrible. Yeah. My stomach is still too big. They would do it properly, joking, but it's terrible. No, it's okay. We all got the little COVID belly, right? I tell you what I'll do is I will do kettlebell swings, but with a cinder block. So kettlebell swings, you want to lock your arms out, okay? The motion is not really from your shoulders, but it's going to come from your legs thrusting the weight up. It's really good for the hamstrings, right? So in my years of working out, I'm definitely not an expert. I've learned through being sore that a lot of muscles are connected. So when your back is sore, right, it may not just be your back. It could be your glutes. And if it's your glutes, then it's definitely your hamstrings. So as those muscles get sore and they get tight, they pull, right? And then the other muscles have to compensate. There's a ton of muscles in your back that are engaging to keep you upright, whether you're sitting, whether you're standing. So sometimes you can help your back out with a good core. If you can do squats, right? I think it uses 209 muscles in your body to do a squat, because as you're going down and you have that weight on you, all those muscles are firing to keep you from falling over. It's great for the legs. I'm stalling, aren't I? I'm stalling. Legs. Everybody's got them. All right, so this is like my prison yard version of a kettlebell swing. So kettlebell, you would basically have it like this. You'd swing it down between your legs, use your legs and your hips to throw the weight up. You don't want to be pulling it up with your shoulders, because that's a completely different workout. So hopefully you guys can see. But I just thought, it's Sunday. I'm going to be working out. Let's see who's on. I like to sometimes share my philosophies. It's basically what I've learned and experienced. And you may have similar, you may have different, right? But that's okay. You be you. All right. So this is my version of a kettlebell swing. So first thing you do, bring it down, up with the legs. I'm not feeling that at all in my shoulders. I'm feeling all of that with my hamstrings and my glutes. What's a glute? My butt, okay? Oh my goodness, those are good. So, not at all in the shoulders. You don't want to be feeling those in the shoulders. If you're feeling that in the shoulders, then you're not doing it right? Although, when I do bench pressing, when I used to go to the gym, right? I'd have times where when I'm bench pressing, I don't know if it's stabilizer or my body knows I don't want to slip off, but my butt would hurt, right? Why would my butt hurt? You're not using butt muscle. I think my butt is trying to grab a hold of the bench to make sure I don't fall off. I don't know, but my buddy's like, well, how did that feel? I'm like, I don't know why my butt is so sore. So another thing is, if anybody out there watching this now, watching the replay, is feeling super down in the dumps, I ask that you reach out to someone. There's what I have found in my life is there's almost someone who's gone through something very similar to what you have, or they've gone through something worse. And sometimes listening to them or sharing with them gives you a different perspective, right? So, and not like a one-up series. Like we've all had those friends who are like, oh yeah, I went and I did this, and you got that buddy who's got to jump in and like, oh yeah, I did that, but I did it so much better. Like, hey man, don't hijack my story. So if you got a bad day, something like that, remember, and I know it sounds like a cliche, tomorrow's going to come. And sometimes a little bit of time or distance away from something can give you a different perspective on it. So I'll give you a quick example. As a young man, my first marriage, I was in we'll say a bad marriage. So I was in it. I didn't have time to deal with it. At the time I was in the Army, it's not like I could, just take a bunch of time off and have to deal with it. So it was kind of like just going to keep putting it off. It wasn't until I moved out of the state per the Army to a school. So I left North Carolina, went to Arizona, and I was out there for a few months, and I started to realize, wait a second, this is more broken than I thought. And that's when I decided for myself, it's okay for me to move forward with starting to change stuff. So a little bit of time, sometimes a little bit of distance. Definitely share with somebody, reach out with somebody. There's a lot of people out there that they generally want to help you. You're never alone. I posted the other day that I was driving home from work, and I have no idea what started it, but for me, I noticed that the hair on my arm started to stand up. When it did, I started to get that feeling, hello, how are you? That I was sinking into myself. My heart started to pound a little bit. I felt like I could take one hand and like rip my steering wheel right off and rip my vehicle apart. And I've had a couple of flashbacks now from an event in 1995. For those of you who don't know, I was in the Army at Fort Bragg. Went out for a PT one morning with 1,300 other soldiers. And there was a disgruntled guy in the wood line who had 3 weapons with him, and he opened fire. He wound up shooting 19 people that morning. I mean, I had tracer rounds going right close to my neck, right close to my leg. So, back to the other story. Hair standing up. I knew that a flashback was about to come on. And so, I've learned for me, crank the music up a little bit, drown it out a little bit, get me to focus on something else. Because, eventually what I start to hear is that the roaring of the 1,000 feet in the stampede, their screams, it's like a roar, like a train coming at you in the distance. And I can still hear the high-pitched shrill screams of some of the men when they when the bullets struck them. And so, and I'm getting the goosebumps now. But there's somebody out there. You're not alone. Somebody else out there that has been through something similar. So, reach out. And that's kind of my message that I'm trying to pass along is you're not alone. And no matter what it is. Some people think, I'm all alone. I have to do this by myself. That, it's never going to get better. It's only going to get worse. But there's somebody out there that could share with you, could listen with you. Maybe, wow, that was some dust. There was some dust in the gloves, so I sucked that right in. But, sometimes there's somebody out there that maybe just says good morning to you, or how are you, or I hope you have a wonderful day, that kind of stuff. And that person could be you, just, spreading a little bit of love, spreading a little bit of joy out there, and you might make somebody's day. And then somebody who was, got up in the morning and they're all grumpy, and maybe they put their socks on and, they had spilled water and they stepped in the water and their sock is all wet. Now they're angry at the world. And you happen to see them and you just say good morning, and they stop and they think, it is good morning, and it becomes contagious, and, they spread that along. All right, what should I do next? I did kettlebell swings with the dumbbell. How about we do a little bit of push type muscles, right? I would prefer to have my feet up. That way I'm kind of like this, but I will do these here. I will do 10 slow ones. Doing them on the cinder blocks allows me to dip below and really get a stretch into the shoulders and the chest. So, here we go. I've been having a little issues, too, with the right shoulder. So, I've had 4 knee surgeries. I've had a shoulder surgery. The VA has me rated at 60% disabled. I have every excuse to just stop, right? I don't have to do anything. I can just sit around. I don't have to work out, but you know what? As we were talking about in the beginning, it's part of my little happy, right? So I try to stack up a bunch of little happies so that I'm not waiting on one big happy to make me happy. Does anybody have any burpees? Oh my God, I'm not doing burpees. You stop it, handlebar cuber. Oh my God, burpees. You want to see me out here crying? Get some burpees in there. But yeah, I have every reason, or I have the ability to just say, I don't have to do any of that. I don't have to go out. I don't have to work out. I didn't have to look, gyms are closed. I don't have to do anything. But just had to. Yeah, you hate them? Well, thanks for sharing them with me there, handlebar cuber. But yeah, I had every reason to say I'm not going to do it. But there are folks out there who motivate me. My mother-in-law is a double amputee, and it doesn't stop her one bit. She still gets out, does stuff. And if you didn't see her physically sitting in that wheelchair, you would have no idea that she was somewhat confined to it. One of the things that she says that I take to heart is a lot of people will say to her, man, I wish I could just sit for 5 minutes. And her response is, man, I wish I could just stand for 5 minutes. Different perspective, right? There is another gentleman and the blood is leaving my brain to go other places, arms, shoulders, chest, and I'll try to remember. Anyways, I follow him, he follows me. He's got great content, but he has lost part of his leg, right? Dude's pumping out videos of him bench pressing, doing squats, doing deadlifts. So me being just tired and lazy is not really a good excuse when you think that some people, perspective can really change things. When I was a young man in the Army, 1995, I went to the Army's airborne school, jump school down at Fort Benning, Georgia. Now, I can stand on top of the swing set, not a big deal, right? I'm not that scared of heights. But you will not catch me standing, Derek? No, it's like Tales from the Beard. Tales from the Beard, that's who it is. You will not catch me standing at the edge of a sky rise, right? Or a skyscraper. I'm not going to stand at the edge and be like, look at me, I have no fear. So I got a fear of heights there. So when I went to jump school in 1995, I mean, it's a little bit of it's a little terrifying. You're going to strap on a parachute, get in one of the Air Force's aircraft, and you're going to jump out, and your chute is packed by another Joe like me, whose job it is to pack parachutes. And, you know, the Army's great and everything, the military's great and everything, but we always have sayings like, things are Joe-proof. You gotta make it Joe-proof. You think an adult won't do something dumb until you meet someone in the Army or the military or whatever, and you're like, I would have never expected someone to do something that dumb. Anyways, so I go down to jump school, and I'm like, it's getting closer and closer to jump week, and I'm like, I don't know, man, this is terrifying. I'm gonna put my life in the hands of these other people I don't know, who have packed my parachute. I'm gonna be on an airplane. I'm gonna jump out at 1,200 feet above ground level, and you know, it's just scary. But then I started thinking, right? It was tough physically on me because they had you doing a lot of crazy stuff. But I started thinking about the thousands who had come before me, the thousands that were in the school the same time I was, going through the same exact thing I was, and none of them seemed to be any more terrified, I'd have to say, than I was at the current moment. And so if the trailblazers, the people before me, could do it, well, then I should be able to do it, right? And I kept that mindset that it is possible. It is possible to do this. It is possible to complete jump school. It is possible to survive the 5 jumps you need in order to get your parachutist badge. So I stayed in it. I did it. The first jump, I had door position, so I was the first person out of the aircraft. So for like, I don't know, 2 minutes, I got to stand in the door, and I'm looking out, and I'm telling myself, don't look down, don't look down, don't look down. And I remember I looked down, right? And I could see the ground, and you had the exhaust from the prop engine, and it was all, you know, wavy and distorted, I guess. And I'm thinking, I shouldn't have looked down, I shouldn't have looked down. And I remember, as I'm standing in the door, the jump master has his hand behind my parachute, and he's holding on to me, and he's like, yeah, he's giving me thought. You can't hear anything because all the wind's rushing in. And he gives me like a thumbs up, and I had, I had my left hand over the ring for the reserve parachute. So I gave him the thumbs up to let him know that, I was ready to do this. And as we got closer, he leaned in again and gave me the thumbs up, and I leaned back, and because I knew when the light turned green, he was gonna tap me right on my buttocks, right, my glutes, as a signal to go, because I wouldn't have hurt him. But he leaned in and he gave me the thumbs up, and I said, hey, when it turns green, hit me as hard as you can, because I wanted to make sure that when the light turned green and it was my time to go, I didn't mess it up for the guys behind me, so on and so forth. So I remember, light turns green, jump master hits me, I start to walk out, and what you do is there's a little platform. So you walk out the platform, you snap your feet together, you bend kind of into an L to form this tight L as you go out, and it'll tilt you. And it's loud in the aircraft. I was a little terrified. I went out, and I kind of went out at an angle, and I had my glasses tied, but it kind of, pulled them this way, and my risers were kind of wrapped up like this, and they taught us what to do. You basically grab a hold of them, you bicycle, and they open up. But the whole point of the story is, I went from being somewhat terrified in the aircraft, the wind is rushing, I'm going to be the first guy out, I don't know if I'm going to live, but I kept thinking of all the thousands and thousands of paratroopers who came before me who did the same exact thing. And they did it, and I worked with a bunch of them, so they do this on a regular basis, so the survivability rate is pretty high, and they got me through it. But it's loud in the aircraft. I come out, you're supposed to count to 4, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Then your chute opens, and it did, and I did the bicycle, and it went from super loud to super quiet. I felt like a feather, just floating down like this. It was an amazing experience. So I tell you what, my workout's about done. Thank you guys for joining me, listening to me ramble. In summary, you can spread happiness, small gestures, maybe just tell somebody, good morning, how are you? Have a nice day. Change up your perspective. You be you, right? People will find you. Don't change yourself to follow something else if it's not you, right? You follow you, do your stuff. People will gravitate to you. Love all of you guys. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. I'm going to get out of here, maybe do a little bit more. I'm not doing any more legs, right? Don't need legs, right? I just got to build the upper body, and my legs will get bigger carrying around the upper body, right? The beach body. So happy Sunday, everybody. I am Bob. This is Elliot Norris, my mustache. You have a wonderful and happy Sunday and a wonderfully bearded day. We'll catch you all later. All right? Bye-bye. Oop, I didn't do it. All right, this time really I mean it. Goodbye.